So that's kind of interesting. I filmed the video, I think last year, where I was standing in the parking lot right in front of that building. Nice corporate abandoned building, and it is being torn down. Yeah, that's that. So, welcome everybody. My name is Michael, and I'm very upset. I'm frustrated. I'm furious, in fact. I'm very upset because I have been doing a fair amount of research. This past week, I've not been feeling that great mentally. It's been one whirlwind after another. So, essentially what's been happening, what I realized is, and I don't know, and it's tough to confirm that it is this, but after ruling out certain things, it could be this. So what am I talking about? I don't even know how to explain it fully because it is pretty complex, but the little bit of research that I did on this and what I understand is methylation and MTFHR, and there's COMT genes and whatnot. You have to take a gene test to really know. And even then, there's the woo-woo la-la part of it where it's like, I don't know, this is veering away from science. But what is confirmed is, yes, there's a fair amount of people that may have alternative reactions, ill reactions, to some of these supplements, which commonly are used for anti-anxiety amongst other things. But these are supplements, these are vitamins, these are multivitamins, where vitamin B, B12, B6, B9, niacin, you got vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin K, potassium, magnesium, zinc, copper, all these metals and whatnot, and you got a whole thousands of supplements, right? And everyone's like, take supplements and you'll be fine, and they're all good and you're whatever. No, I've had a almost mental breakdown. Last Monday was an amazing day. I was chilling, everything's great, and then boom, out of nowhere, boom, it just hits you. I felt absolutely terrible. Like, I was just laying in bed, and out of nowhere, boom, intrusive thoughts, like super deep, dark, terrible thoughts that immediately threw me back. This is years after I lost parts of my hearing and got tinnitus. For those who don't know, I took pregabalin. This was a legally prescribed substance from a psychiatrist, which said, you know, this is going to be great for anxiety, if you don't want to take SSRIs and all this. I should have never got to a psychiatrist that I was feeling a little under the weather mentally. You know why I was feeling under the weather? It's maybe because I lost like 6 figures of money that year. Whoops, went into bankrupt and absolutely destroyed my life. But you know, maybe that could have been the reaction, a normal reaction. Yeah, I got depressed. I was depressed because I lost all my money. And not only that, I destroyed probably the next 5, 6, 7 years of my life and went into debt. But apart from that, I went to a psychiatrist and he prescribed me pregabalin, which made me even more depressed. You know why? Because not only did I lose my money, but then I lost my hearing. And I only took it for 2 weeks, and I immediately started reading horror posts where people are like, this has destroyed my life. You know, you get really bad mental thoughts. You get intrusive thoughts. You get these thoughts where you're just like, I'm going to end it all. And I've never had that before. And I'm like, what is going on here? So after that, turns out it's not so easy to get off of that. Even if you only took a smaller dose and for a smaller period of time, where some of these people are taking it for like 10 plus years for nerve pain and whatnot. Well, anyways, that led me down this rabbit hole where I realized a lot of these substances and medications, and certainly those, almost everything to do with depression and anxiety relief, benzodiazepines, SSRIs, all these things are really bad. And some of them, you know, 90% of the people who try them will experience some side effects, but maybe nothing crazy. And then there's the small percentage that experience really life-devastating, changing, permanent effects, or even if it's temporary, such crazy stuff happens that you're like, oh my God, I regret ever taking this. Some people have had like permanent damage from taking one single pill, and it's legally prescribed, the doctor recommends it, and then your life, as you know it, it's over. So you can't just get off of it. You get these withdrawals and you feel terrible. Well, I completely wasted 1 year of my life 1 year. Not only did I lose my money, but I wasn't able to maintain my business. I wasn't able to earn money because for that 1 year, I stayed inside. I didn't know what to do. I tried so many different things. I did try and travel. I did try to go to therapists and different doctors. And I was worried about losing my hearing, and my vision got worse, and my memory got worse. And it was like all these things connected with my central nervous system. It was like a major inflammatory attack. It was like, oh my God, my nerve system had this shock that happened. And I started generally feeling better. My tinnitus didn't start feeling better. And, I had hyperacusis and real sensitivity to light, to hearing, to everything. And I felt terrible that first year. And it all started calming down second year, third year, fourth year. Now, it was great. Like the last year, I felt fine, apart from the fact that, I still have tinnitus and all this stuff. And, not every day. There's a lot of stress. There was a lot of stress in my life, mainly financial, of course. But I felt normal for the most part, apart from tinnitus. Again, it is what it is. Yeah, there's certain situations, but I haven't felt like I did up until last week. And that was almost identical. It wasn't as bad, but it was almost identical. The intensity wasn't, like 10 and 11 when I had to, take like benzos for like these emergency situations then, because there's one period of time where I was going through like the initial withdrawal phase and I couldn't sleep for 3 days in a row, and I had like really terrible thoughts, and I was like, oh my God, I need to just lay down, and that was bad. So this wasn't at that level, but it was close. It was getting there. And my mind was racing. My left arm started feeling like numb. I had this horrible sensation in my gut, like my stomach. It felt like my nerves and body was on fire. And I was thinking, what is going on? It's not just mental, but it feels like physical. Like it was stress, massive anxiety, massive. And I realized I wasn't doing anything crazy. I was smoking a cigar that weekend, but I've smoked many cigars in my life, and cigars usually help with like OCD thoughts and anxiety. And in my case, nothing out of the norm with that. So probably not that. I did have a glass of whiskey, but I tried whiskey many times in my life. Probably wasn't that. And then I realized I've been taking a multivitamin for the past couple of weeks. I can't even remember how long. And I realized something else. Not only was I taking a multivitamin these past couple of weeks, and I started doing research that it could be this multivitamin and too much vitamin B, but where else I was taking vitamins and multivitamins and a lot of supplementation? During that horrible year. And I realized maybe 90% of it, I've read so many stories about how pregabalin ruined so many lives, and mentally and physically it does a bunch of destruction. And I think 90% of that, probably for pregabalin. But it lasted almost forever. And I was taking a lot of supplements to try and combat that. And there's a slight possibility that it could have been a little shorter had it not been for the multivitamins or supplements. Because I read that a multivitamin has really cheap forms of vitamin that they just squeeze in there, right? It's better to take, 20 pills instead of just one pill, because then you're taking different forms of vitamin B. And I can't fully explain this. I'm not an expert on this, but I started reading that there's different sensitivities out there. Some people get really sensitive to folic acid, but folic acid is recommended for pregnancies and whatnot. A lot of doctors recommend vitamin B12. If you're low and deficient in vitamin B12, or deficient in vitamin D, or deficient in a whole bunch of other vitamins and supplementation and magnesium, and you're low in your zinc and copper levels and whatnot, you can get anxious. And then I started reading about like glycine and NAC and magnesium glycinate and glutamate and just all of these different things, which I wish I could explain properly here. But there's some people who are supposedly sensitive to methyl. There's like a methylated vitamin B complex. I'm not going to be doing any of that. But these people who are, it could be me potentially, who are sensitive to that, are sensitive to these vitamin B multivitamins. And not only that, but I started realizing, I've been trying to be healthier lately. I've been drinking a lot of kombucha. And this is a brand that my mom likes to give me a lot. I like the G2s, because usually that's at Trader Joe's. Those, I don't think have vitamin B, but I'm going to have to check everything now. Look at that. So not only am I taking vitamin B multivitamin with a bunch of vitamin B's in there, and usually the cheaper kind. There's vitamin B12, 42 mcg, micrograms, I think that is. 1750% of daily value. And you're so desensitized to this because you see it everywhere. You see it on all the healthy products. You've got all these vitamins here, and there's also vitamin D, calcium, not a significant source of, but it does have a little bit in there, right? And kombucha's pretty healthy. Well, this other one had like, oh, there's a little bit of magnesium here, there's a little bit of iron, there's a little bit of potassium, there's a little bit of this. I started reading how foods that are high in this can cause this, and on that list is like lentils and beans and bananas and broccoli and food that I've been eating. I've been trying to eat a lot more of. And then you also have this, and there's been a lot of drinks, and I realized, oh, I've been trying to eat healthier. So not only kombuchas and drinks, but I've been drinking a lot of prebiotic sodas, and I've been drinking also vitamin water. And then it just clicked. I was like, oh my God, duh. Of course, vitamin water. But you never think in a million years these vitamins will hurt me, because vitamins are literally everywhere. Obviously, they're in your food. You can't escape them. But there's too much vitamins that you can have. And I realized I was drinking a lot of vitamin water and kombuchas and all these healthy drinks, which have already a lot of vitamins. And then I was eating these vitamins through food. And I've been trying to eat healthier, and some of these foods have more of these certain vitamins. And then I also was taking a multivitamin. And then on top of that, I decided that day to take a supplement for, reduce stress, because there was a lot of stress, less stressed or whatever it was called, reduce anxiety. And it had GABA, L-theanine, lemon balm. And I've tried those many times, and it was fine. And it probably wasn't that, but it could have been. And I realized it has to be supplementation. It has to be. And then I stopped taking vitamins up until, well, here's the thing. I realized, okay, maybe it's the GABA, L-theanine and whatnot, but L-theanine and GABA and all this stuff usually makes you calmer. Well, I realized, okay, I'm not going to be playing around with that. But I didn't stop taking the multivitamin until I did more research up until 2 days ago. There's a 1 day period break where I forgot to take it or whatnot. And now it's only been 2 days. And people have said, it takes weeks to feel better. Sometimes even months. Some of these people are unreliable, though, because they've also been taking SSRIs and other substances, which can cause much worse symptoms. But I just wanted to make this like a public announcement here. We're going full Avi on this channel. Avi was my old channel. If you weren't familiar with that, we always talked about stuff like this. And it's just crazy. You're trying to be healthier, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to eat healthier and get those vitamins. And I thought, oh, there's junk food. Not only that, but you never think about this stuff. I got Cheez-Its here. Cheez-Its. You would never think there's vitamin B in Cheez-Its. Well, they have 0% here, right? Vitamin D, it's 0% because sometimes if it's less than 2%, they can claim 0%, or if it's like 0.000, a small little amount that really doesn't matter. However, remember, it's servings, so if you eat like a whole bag of these, you get maybe a little bit more. It's nothing too crazy, but it's just an extreme example that you would never think that Cheez-Its has vitamins in there, where, yeah, vitamin D, 0% calcium, you've got 2% iron, you've got 4% potassium, 0%, but then look at the bottom, you got enriched flour. Well, what does that mean? You've got niacin in there. You've got reduced iron. You've got vitamin B1, thiamine mononitrate, vitamin B2, riboflavin. You've got folic acid. And you're thinking, what the heck? You got vitamin B1, B2, folic acid, niacin. These are Cheez-Its. These are not healthy. These are junk food. Obviously, it's not real cheese. It's fake cheese and whatnot. But enriched flour, that's got to be in a whole bunch of other junk foods out there. And just stuff you would never think about that has these vitamins. It's in there, folks. And some of it is artificially injected into these foods to make it a little bit healthier. And then you realize, wow, all of these things in conjunction. I've been taking these multivitamins for weeks. And I have not realized, maybe I was slowly starting to feel worse, but that night where it just hit me out of nowhere, I literally couldn't tell you what I did that day. I had a great day.
I've been swimming a lot recently. I've been going to the gym. I've been trying to get some nice, beautiful sunshine. Like, life is good. Life is good. There's zero reason for this to come out of nowhere, unless it's neurotransmitters and chemicals, chemical imbalances, the psychiatrist would say. And you would never realize it because I haven't been taking any substances. I would not, I do have a Xanax prescription that actually expired. 2 of them expired because I haven't been taking them. Those are for tinnitus if my tinnitus gets worse, but my tinnitus has been getting better. Well, my tinnitus itself stays the same. It's always there, but my reaction to tinnitus has been getting better. I guess you could say I habituated. Well, this past week, yeah, tinnitus is kind of there. It's more annoying, but I just didn't feel comfortable in my body. It was like almost like you're on the verge of psychosis and, just these crazy thoughts. And now I'm feeling a little bit better. So it's like, okay, I started reading. The only thing I'm taking right now is NAC. NAC is supposed to help in these situations. I've taken NAC before, and generally it's something you don't really feel, but it's there to basically remove the toxicity in your body, the free radicals or whatever. And maybe it's helping, maybe it's not, but I will take it for a little bit. You don't want to overdo it because then it also chelates iron and calcium, iron and copper and all these heavy metals. And then you have to supplement with other supplements. And it's like, oh my God, no. So I'm just going to take it for a little bit and then we're going to stop absolutely everything. And hopefully within the next couple weeks, I feel back to normal, because it's such a crazy feeling. And worst case scenario, like if there's a really bad night or whatnot, I can take a Xanax and it's there as an emergency. But I also know that it's not something you can take all the time. I don't even want to take it because you could experience bad side effects later on. Yeah, you take it makes you feel great today, and then tomorrow you're at an even lower low. I don't want that. I want to get out of this naturally. But it's just something you never realize. And then I started looking at the back of these bottles and I was like, oh my gosh. So just wanted to let you guys know. That's why I haven't really been uploading on this channel. I've been trying to, piece my life back together. It's such a weird feeling. It's like I'm there, but a little bit of depersonalization and whatnot. And it's mainly just anxiety. It's stress and anxiety. And this probably is, it's not confirmed, but I'm if I had the money, I will try and do this genetic test just to confirm whatnot. But there's people that could be over methylated, under methylated, and there's a whole lot of woo-woo science in there, but some of it is actually factual. And there's a lot of people who have been taking multivitamins and they've reported the same symptoms as me. And it's like, okay, now this has started. And some of these people, it took months to discover, like piece together a little puzzle. And it took me like a full week to realize, okay, what's going on here? Like this has started to all make sense now, because I was exploring, like, what did I do over these past couple of weeks? Was there anything that I changed? Really, it was the multivitamin. I don't know. I just wanted to be healthier. I bought it. And I always knew vitamins did something, that they're there, but I never realized, hey, you take a little too much. And in this case, I was literally taking, as the bottle said, take this amount and you'll be fine, whatever. And I mean, I never realized they could be so powerful in terms of absolutely destroying your life and your mental state. So anyways, that is that. Thanks for watching. Please be careful with multivitamins. I would highly suggest you do your research and maybe also take a genetic test before you do anything. And now I'm stopping all supplements. I'm just going to try and eat healthy. That's it. That's all I can do. I was eating food fine before, so I have great faith. I will be strong that everything's going to be fine probably in the next couple of weeks. But I also read that this takes a while. And I am feeling a little bit better now than I was before. But it's like you're always fearful again. Like, is tonight going to be a bad night? Is you don't even feel comfortable in your own house, right? But going out, doing stuff that keeps my mind, happy and whatnot. So anyways, if you're going through it, something similar in the future, if you're watching this, I'll make another report, see how it is. But generally, the people I've been finding on Reddit and other social media pages, they started feeling better. It's fine. It's not going to last forever. And I felt fine. eventually after pregabalin. I thought my life was over after that. That was worse. That was 100% worse, because some people unfortunately never got out of it. But you know, it just sucks, because now if this takes like a week, 2, 3, it's just, you're distracted. You know, you can't focus on school and work and all this stuff, and it's like, come on, it's a vitamin, really? But yeah, I'm not going to be taking any more multivitamins. And if I do this genetic test and it turns out this methylation, I am under or over methylated, and I need to take some other supplements, maybe, but I'm probably not going to be experimenting with anytime soon. So yeah, that's that. Pretty crazy, huh?
So, take a look at that. That's what I've been taking. This is a smaller amount than the kombucha. Niacin. Vitamin B6, 294%. Crazy, huh? So, it's pretty interesting. But probably that, and I still have a lot of it left. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching.
Update. This is the next day, and yeah, yesterday had a breakdown after filming the video. Today had a breakdown, and by that I mean it was just, I had to release all of my emotions. I had to cry, and my wife was comforting me, and I guess these are just flashbacks to, you know, the horror I felt during that 1 year with the pregabalin. And I keep telling myself I'm going to be strong, everything's going to be fine. I might have psyched myself out because I was reading a lot of Reddit posts, and then I found Facebook groups, and it's just a very sad thing that this is happening not only to myself but to a fair amount of people, and it's very tough. So the next step at this point is, unfortunately, this is the 1 month I don't have health insurance. I could technically do Cobra, but that would be emergency situations only, because Cobra would cost me hundreds of dollars on top of whatever still would be left over if I had to go to the emergency room. That's those situations. But we did find a lesser priced, better priced doctor, Polish doctor in Chicago, who might be able to help us out, but she's not working tomorrow, so I will try and do my blood work, potentially if it gets really bad, urgent care. I just want to see what my vitamin B6 and B9 levels are. I'm sorry, B12. If there's, you know, folic acid, B9 as well. But with this, it's just, it's very, very tough, because you also have to monitor your diet. And I am now trying to figure out how to do this. Should I intermittent fast? Should I do a lot of water fasting? Should I, because there's so many foods that have vitamins that it's very tough. And I don't know. And then I will try and do a gene test for MTFHR and COMT. And I cannot think about this that much. I am at the point where I'm going to be exercising every day. I'm going to be trying to figure out a very healthy diet that I don't know what the problem is. So I want to figure it out. If it's, you know, this, I'll try and find foods that are better. I don't know. And try and de-stress. I did have to call off from work tomorrow. So it's day 2, technically day 3. Yeah, day 3, technically, since we stopped. But this is going to be probably a little bit of a journey. So thanks for watching.